What's going on, guys? It's Venom. What's going on, guys? You gotta start your YouTube videos like, what's going on, guys? Hey, what's up? It's your boy Venom. What's going on? What's up, y'all? I hope you had a good week. You know, I hope you had a I hope you're having a good day. It's Friday. It's 8 p.m. You know, Friday on at 8 p.m. And we're talking about Spider-Man, you know? Grown man stuff, you know what I'm saying? Grown man. We're talking about grown man stuff here, all right? This video ain't for children, okay? It's grown man business, okay? Hey, what's up, y'all? Before we begin, I just want to say that this video, this live stream, is actually a companion piece. All of my live streams have been going in a particular order. I planned it all out. So this live stream is connected to my previous live stream, which is also connected to, I have a live stream called Appreciating the Unique Perspectives. And in that Appreciating Unique Perspective video, I really talk about just different perspectives. And one of the perspectives that I received, that I have, well, I mean, it's not my full perspective, but it is a perspective that I had, something that I caught when playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and even Spider-Man the first one. There was some things that I caught. It was a perspective that I had, a perspective that's not really like what everybody else has at all. I haven't heard anybody say what I said, what I felt from the game, which is interesting because that goes into kind of like what I'm gonna talk about here. I'm gonna talk about it more in detail. This kind of live stream is about that partially, like the real problem with Spider-Man PS5, Spider-Man 2, the Miles, like the real problem, and people talking about all these different things. We're gonna talk about the actual problem, okay? The graphics, yeah, that's great, and the graphics, you know, but like we're gonna really get into it. But if you watch those previous the previous live stream, I really talked about just this difference in perspective, this difference in culture. Honestly, different cultures have or different people, because before we go into culture, we can talk about the individuals. Like different individuals, they have different upbringings and different experiences that really shape their worldview, shape their life, shape all that. And like, there's a particular worldview that I have from my upbringing, and that worldview, regardless of whether or not I shift my worldview or not, that worldview has formed, and that worldview is a view of like, I guess I'm talking about the concept of being coffee colored, the concept of being brown skinned, and this particular worldview that arises, or this worldview that's passed down to us, because I honestly, like, the worldview is partially experienced and is partially like what you're told, what those before you have experienced. Anyway, like, there's this conversation right now about Spider-Man 2. This conversation, and this live stream is going to be talking about what I'm talking about here, and then we're going to also get into like kind of what I want to happen, like talking about in a positive, like about the playable characters, Mary Jane and Venom and all that. But this part though isn't necessarily negative. It's more so I really want to talk and highlight a different perspective, because what's going on right now is like journalists, and I mean individuals that get paid. Okay, their job is to play video games or to consume particular media, and that job is a cool job, I would say, probably. I mean, but from that, like, when journalists come to conclusions, like when I talked about in that Appreciating the Perspectives video, the GameSpot interview, dude came, he says, Miles Morales comes from a black family and all this, and he just web swings with the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. Now I get it, black teens have exaggerated swagger, you know what I'm saying? But if like ain't nobody talking about Miguel O'Hara talking about like he moved with the, I don't know. He moves like a melancholic Mexican. What word? I don't know. Like what? Like, but I understand the concept. But for me, if you're a journalist, you're getting paid to consume the media, right? There's this conversation currently about Mary Jane. Like, and it's not really a conversation. Look, these are video games, okay? This is fictional characters. These ain't real people, okay? Like, but there's a conversation about the fictional character, Mary Jane, the fictional character in the video game made by Insomniac Games, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mary Jane. There's this conversation about like how she looks. And I think it's an interesting conversation. I really do. I want to show before we continue just that as YouTube user Sayel, in my stream before I didn't mention like show his channel, show his YouTube video. I showed the YouTube video, but I didn't show like his name and the name of the video that I was showing, and that was a problem. Not a problem. It was a problem for me because like his video is interesting to me, but in his video, he has like a fan-made edit of Mary Jane. And I think I just want to show it a little bit. So like right here, I think it's an interesting conversation to talk about this fictional character's face, this fictional character who is not real, who is actually created by people at Insomniac Games. They drew her. And basically, she's a cartoon. And I think it's really interesting for us to talk about how the cartoon looks. And journalists who get paid to talk about the cartoons, I think that's dope. But when the journalists get paid to talk about the cartoons, for me, I have an expectation that they should actually, like, know about the cartoons, like, consume the cartoons. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear individuals that are supposedly have consumed the media, when they hear these conversations talking about these fictional characters who do not exist, who were created by people, talking about the design of the characters, when I hear these journalists begin speaking to the audience, to the consumers from this perspective of, well, if you have an opinion about how this fictional character looks, if you feel as if whatever, because I don't have, like, it's for me, it's fictional character, okay? But when we start having a conversation about, well, if you have a problem, and you're a journalist, if you have a problem with how this character looks, well, you have to take into account, first of all, okay, you're probably sexist. When a journalist says that, and I should be showcasing articles, but it's not, my point isn't necessarily to call out any one journal. And look, that's not my point. My point isn't any of that at all. My point is to really have an actual conversation, a real discussion, facilitate one at least. If journalists can come to the conclusion that, well, if you don't like how this character looks, you're sexist, A, and B, you're not taking into account who this character actually is. This character is in a relationship with a superhero. That's extremely stressful. This stress could have had a whole lot of a whole lot. It could have done a lot to her. It had a lot of impact on her emotionally, physically, all of it, and that's evident here. If you're a journalist and you played the game and you came to that conclusion, so for me as a consumer that played the game, if you come to that, if you're able to have that level of analyzation, you're able to, she's a character who is in this emotionally traumatic and it's just this really large relationship and it's just taking a toll on her as a woman and if we're able to come to that deep conclusion, okay, we're able to, as journalists getting paid to consume, then for me, I go, well, how did we come to the conclusion with Miles? You stopped at exaggerated swagger of a black teen, and I know that's GameSpot. But we can understand the dichotomy of the relationship. And let me show the video. This is the video here. I didn't show the video. Sayel, okay. But if we understand that complexity, then we should be able to really extrapolate and talk about the complexities of the Spider-Man 1 story, of Miles Morales, and then begin to talk about Spider-Man 2 for real. So what am I saying? If you're just joining, you didn't watch the previous live streams, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You're like, okay, well, is he going to get to the point? Yeah, I am. The point is that from a cultural standpoint, I like looked at when I was playing Miles Morales, there were some things for me where I went, oh, snap, that's a little wonky. Not wonky, but it's a little different. Pertaining to, and I want to preface before I really go into it, it's not about controlling or gatekeeping what stories can be told, who these stories have to be told by, told for. That's not what I'm saying. I'm really, really trying to just push forward a conversation about media in general. Because there's all of these concepts of agendas and everybody's trying to get everybody's attention. And I think there's something to it. Maybe it's not. Let's talk about it. So for me, when I played Spider-Man Miles Morales, there were elements I first paid attention. This is the first Spider-Man game that had a person of color as Spider-Man, as the main character. And this is broadcast on this larger-than-life stage. Not larger-than-life stage, but it's on the stage for everybody to see. Everybody knows of Miles Morales. Everybody knows of Spider-Man. And now they associate Miles Morales with Spider-Man directly on this different scale outside of just the comics. And that includes the movies as well. But like the games, they put him on that pedestal, which is great. The story, though, before I even get into Miles Morales, because Spider-Man 1, okay, Peter Parker is working with Miles Morales' father, who is a cop. And him being a cop, they're doing their things, and it turns out Miles Morales' father saves Spider-Man. He saves Spider-Man, and that's something. So with Miles Morales' father and Spider-Man, them working together, Norman Osborn holds a re-election event, and at this re-election event, he's like putting Miles Morales' father on this pedestal. Not because he worked with Spider-Man. I mean, that's where you can infer, because we're going to talk about the story. I'm going to talk about my perspective of the story. And you're going to understand what the real problem is, because it ain't the graphics and all that. We could talk about the graphics, but like if the journalist is taking this stance like of defending the game like that, then like you came to the conclusion, exaggerated black swag, like, okay, what's really going on? So like, let's really talk about the games then. If people have an opinion about Mary Jane, how she looks, if they have an opinion about how she looks and they're sexist, exaggerated black, okay. So when Miles Morales' father is being commemorated, he's being, exonerated. He's, look, he did the thing, not because he did it with Spider-Man, but yeah, he did it with Spider-Man. He saved Spider, but that's not the reason why it's not like Norman Osborn said, you worked with Spider-Man, you helped Spider-Man, and I'm going to commemorate you. That's not what took place, but that's kind of the sequence of order of events. And we know ultimately, like, Norman Osborn is Spider-Man's arch nemesis. But let's keep going with the story. At this event in which Norman Osborn is commemorating Miles Morales' father for like doing his job and working with Spider-Man, actually, but that's not the reason. He did his job. That's when Mr. Negative did his terrorist attack and killed Miles Morales' father, which goes into the events. We already had Peter Parker working with Miles Morales' dad. Miles Morales' dad dies with Norman Osborn and all that, with Mr. Negative, because of Spider-Man, whatever concept. And then, lo and behold, later on, Mary Jane, she sneaks into the Oscorp thing. The spider gets on her, but doesn't bite her. It goes back with her, never bites her, gets on Miles, bites Miles, and then he becomes Spider-Man. And so it's like, in the first game, Miles' dad dies, and he becomes Spider-Man. He gets bit by the spider. Miles' dad dies because of Norman Osborn, Mr. Negative, Spider-Man, and then he gets bit because of Norman Osborn, okay, Miles Morales, the game. This is the game that's completely about Miles Morales. He's the character. Miles Morales, the game, is where they introduce his like background for real. So you really get to meet his mom. You get to see how they're adjusting after like his dad passed, and you get to see how he's being Spider-Man. And Peter Parker left him with, and you in control. You in charge of the city. Okay, he in charge of the city. So with him being in charge of the city, Miles Morales is the Spider-Man, and then they introduce a character who in the comics is Phineas Mason. And Phineas Mason is the Tinkerer, who is just a white dude in the comics. But they changed. So Insomniac Games changed Phineas Mason and made him her, and they turned her black, which is fine. Like but let me keep going. So then the game, the story is about Finn. Her name is not Phineas. Finn Mason and her brother, who works for Alchemex, or the evil company, and he finds out the evil company is evil. So then he decides to like not do it, like go against them basically. So then they devise this whole situation for him to die, effectively killing him, right? And then Finn finds out about this, and she's like upset, and she goes down her route of like getting revenge. So she finds out her brother was a part of an evil corporation, so she decided to join another evil corporation to go against the other evil corporation, which is fine. It's, they're writing the story. In the story, they're writing the story. Like, listen to what they're writing it, okay? So Insomniac, they're awake, they're woke, they're not asleep. They're writing the story, okay? And the conversation of individuals being sexist, and I'm going to keep going, then you'll understand where I'm going. The story, and if you've seen what I'm talking about, or if you know the story, then okay. The game is about Miles Morales and his best friend, Finn Mason, fighting because she has succumbed to guilt and revenge. Not guilt. She succumbed to like revenge, and she's eaten up by revenge. And Miles ultimately is like Spider-Man, In the game, he talks to his uncle. Like his uncle knows he's Spider-Man from the rip. His uncle is a criminal, which is, they're writing. It's the Prowler. We know it's fine. His uncle is a criminal. He tells his uncle that he knows, like, Finn is the working for the evil folks. She's the Tinkerer, da-da-da. What do I do? His father, not father figure, but a father figure in his life. At first, it was like his dad was killed. So then it kind of, like, became Peter Parker in a way. Like, Peter Parker is his father. It's like after his dad died, not because of Spider-Man, but like he was being commemorated by Spider-Man's arch nemesis after Spider-Man was saved by, Miles Morales' father. That was when, Miles Morales' father died. And then the Spider, if we know in the comics, and the Amazing Spider-Man franchise and all that, they go down, they like to play with the idea of like the man in the shadows, and it's all being orchestrated, and and it's all ooh. So I think about that all the time with Norman Osborn being directly, he was, we're gonna commemorate Miles Morales' dad, and then Miles Morales' dad dies, and then but anyway, the game is like Miles is talking to his uncle, and he's saying, she's the Tinkerer, what do I do? And his uncle was like, I'm a criminal, and your dad was a cop, and I told your dad that I was a criminal. He ain't like that. He stopped talking to me. So you shouldn't tell her the truth. You should lie to her. And Miles lies to her because he gets that advice from his father figure. He gets that advice from his uncle. He lies. And then as he lies, he talked to her. He say, hey, Finn, what's going on? And she's honest with him. She walks him through the whole underground facility and all that. And he put on his suit afterward and come back and fight everybody, and fights her. And then before, like when she has the upper hand on him, that's when he reveals that he's Spider-Man, that he's Miles Morales. And she's like, wait a minute. Naturally, because I just walked you through all this. Like what? And then the game like proceeds, and she like doesn't trust him because he's a liar. Basically, he said, and it's not even that he's a liar. It's like he proceeds to fight her instead of like just sitting down and talking to his best friend, who is a black female, and who is a coffee colored, who is, because it's not about, look, he proceeds to fight her. It's not even like he tries to talk to her and she runs away, or like he just fight her. And the game, like, for me, what I was saying in that appreciating various perspectives, unique perspective video, I was saying that the concept of how individuals have a particular experience, and that experience becomes their filter or outlook for life, and how I was relating that to the game, what the game was commenting on. I was talking about it in a positive light. I wasn't critiquing the story. I was saying that I appreciated the fact that they told the story and showcased, like, Miles Morales, him dealing with this, now that he's Spider-Man, he has this particular worldview in which he is, I guess, the sheriff. He the law. He got to protect the city. And then his uncle, because he is a criminal, and he told his Miles Morales' father, he told him that he was a criminal, and Miles Morales' father didn't respond to that the way that he expected. Then, his uncle created that became the justification for him to have this particular outlook on life that justifies or rationalizes his lying, which actually is the same case for Miles and for Peter. The concept of the mask being the reason for them to lie, the justification for them to lie to the people that they love and to be X, Y, and Z. And I was commenting on that story, and that story being showcased and being told in it's being told like it. I was saying, I was relating it to Hamlet and to the various Shakespeare works, how and work in general. Just because a character is a main character of a work doesn't mean they are the good guy or bad guy or whatever. Like, they're just the central focus of the story and the individual in which the action takes place onto and spins off from, but going back to the concept of what I'm saying, that perspective, he fought his best friend, and the game ends with like her dying, and it's like and I didn't say spoiler alert for none of the games, but but it ends with like her dying, which that's what they do. That's what they do. And it's like the reason for it, the concept of her being dying is because because she succumbed to revenge. Then Miles he's justified in fighting her, and justified in like allowing her to die, or not allowing her to die, because he absorbed all of the energy and then released the energy, and the energy killed her. And it's ultimately placed, like, the way that the story is told is because she is she redeems herself, but ultimately, like, she succumbed to the darkness, and the darkness is where it would, and Miles just let her go, which is interesting. Miles just let her go. But what I'm saying is, from a journalistic perspective, if individuals that have an opinion on the face of Mary Jane are sexist. And even people, journalists that played Miles Morales and played these games, they speak about the game in, for me, in a less than way, not in a very they don't talk about the game like from the perspective of them really playing it. Like I feel like they everybody likes the game, everybody, and that's fine, but it's there aren't any like true opinions. So for me, it's the concept of people being sexist because they have a true opinion about Mary Jane or an opinion that's outside of like the sphere. Like my mind goes to in Miles Morales, it's about a black dude killing a black dude and a black woman fighting. Ain't nobody call that racist. Insomniac is they woke. It's not about like I'm not saying Insomniac is racist. I'm just saying that there's a history. There's like a legitimate history with how people are portrayed in media. And for me, when I see Spider-Man fought Felicia Hardy. He fought Screwball. He fought Screwball. But like he ain't kill no women. He ain't kill no women. He ain't kill his best friend. He didn't kill, and is justified the concept of like, because he is Spider-Man, because like he is that character, that title, like it's okay because he is that title that like now he can lie. And Insomniac, the idea of them creating this, like how the whole story goes with Miles' father dying because of Spider-Man. Now Spider-Man is his father, and like in the next game is Venom is gonna be his mom. I made that joke, but like Venom is gonna kill his mom and Harry. It's like this, all this. It's just interesting to me. For me, the real problem with like the game is not there. Honestly, there is no real problem, as you can see. But the real problem with the game, if we're gonna have like a real conversation, and I would talk about the story, like what is going on in the state. Ain't nobody. What's happening in the story? What's happening in the story? I want to look at the comments a little bit. My comments still ain't working for some reason. I don't know why. Like my last stream, I could not see the comment section at all. So I'm a look at the comments. And I am gonna be taking calls. I have not people have been calling in during the show. But I haven't taken any calls. But if you want to call in, you can call in at 657-233-1351. That is 657. Look, it's going over my head. You can call in. I'm gonna turn the phone line on, and we can talk and have some conversations. And I hope you all follow me. My plan. I'm going to make a actual edited video, like talking about everything and showcasing the clips, because the clips may help with what I'm saying. My point though isn't, I'm not trying to like go after anybody. I'm not trying to like talk down or even disrespect any of the people at Insomniac. I'm more so really commenting on just the nature of like media right now. It's this the subject matter of the game can be considered offensive to some people in the game. Like culturally speaking, black people of color, where I grew up, it's an environment where there could be needles on the ground, and needles deal with drugs, and you don't touch needles. But like in the game specifically, Miles Morales is picking up a needle, and I as a person that's a normal gamer, a YouTuber, a writer, whatever, like I know that. So do the $1 million people at Insomniac know that? Like, my assumption, maybe what they say about assuming, like maybe it's not right for me to assume and say, no, they didn't. They had no idea that having the black boy pick up a random needle off of a table because, whatever context that may culturally be a little insensitive. But like for me, It is. It's like, it's the concept of I'm not relating it to a minstrel show. I'm not relating it to, because it's not egregious at all. It's not egregious at all. But to let's really talk about it. If you're getting paid to talk about it, you're gonna sit back. Oh, you're sexist because you think her face is small or it needs to be smaller. Like, dude, did you play? Like, you came to the conclusion, and it's not the same person that said this. Like, again, it's not the same. I'm just speaking about the whole sphere. People are paid to consume this media, and what they have to say is nothing. Like, what do you have to say about it? You're not taught. You didn't play the game. Like, come on, dude. People you really gonna talk? The name of the company is Insomniac. They woke. They didn't sit back and think, oh, we're going to make the black boy pick up a needle. Oh, we're going to have the black boy kill the black girl. Oh, and come on, dog. Come on. We journalists, we sitting back, the exaggerated swagger of a black team. He lean with it and rock with it while he's swinging. Come on, dog. What? Hey, he hit the Dougie. And they throwing words out like sexist. They throwing words out. Oh, yeah, you're sexist. Oh, yeah, get out of here. Get. These people. The game got real. There's actual substance. There's real things you can actually talk. They throwing isms out. Isms, so-and-so is ist. So, but the company is they woke, and you hear the subject matter. I'm not making it up, but ain't nobody come to that conclusion. What? That's the game. The game is the black man fighting the black woman. Insomniac Games. They woke. But the journalists ain't, cause they ain't playing. They ain't playing, dog. They ain't playing the game. And it's for me, it's not about, look, the game is about the black woman and the black man fighting. My brother, it's not about that. I'm literally talking, that ain't even come up. That ain't even come up. That ain't even a thing. All of these woke, all of these agendas, Black Lives Matter. Oh my God, yes. And again, it's not about, you can't tell these type of stories. I'm just literally commenting on what are the journalists really talking? What is going on? We're inclusive, diversity, like, if you don't like Mary Jane, you're sexist. But I loved Miles Morales. I thought it was great. I loved it. He had the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. I was playing it the whole time, cranking that Soulja Boy. Oh, that Soulja Boy from 2003. Come on, dog. Come on, bruh. They ain't got nothing. It's all marketing. That's these GameSpot. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, y'all. Yeah, they real people. They real people. But come on, man. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Maybe y'all don't. Here, let me go to the chat. Let me check out the chat. Hold on. I wish I could bring the chat up. Like, I don't know why it's not working. Ain't that something? They said no chat. Here, let me bring the chat up though. I want to hear what y'all got to say, and then I'm going to be taking calls. I'll turn on the phone line in a moment. Here, I gotta go. I have to look at the chat in this weird way. What in the world? Okay, here we go. All right. He said, he's a real man convos over here. He said, there's so much, he said there's, well, okay. He said there's, okay. All right. So if you're not, if you aren't following what I'm saying, okay, that you aren't following what I'm saying. Let me go straight to the point, just because the real problem is that the individuals that cover the game, the journalists that are on, like, the real problem is that art in itself is being like relegated to whatever concept, but that concept is not what art is. Like, art is like, whew. So when we have these ideas, or these journalists or whomever that place these gates around concepts, you can't speak about Mary Jane, or you can't do this, or when the attention is drawn to a particular area, for me, I go, well, why is attention being drawn to that area? If there is like a whole thing, there's a whole thing. The real problem is the story. If it's a problem with the game, it's a story. The real problem is the story. But that's not a problem, because it's not about like the story has to be this way. But if there's a problem, it's the story. If we talking about it's an exclusive time, is woke, we's moving forward, then the story is the problem. If journalists, come on now, you didn't play the game. I'm not making it up. Black folk, we don't pick up random needles. So why did they have Miles? It's not about guys. He can't pick up a needle. Okay, write that on the list of things black people can't do. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in this culture, if you come to a conclusion of a ism of whatever, right? If you're saying, like, within this game made by Insomniac, woke games, okay, if you came to whatever conclusion as a journalist that, like, oh my gosh, people that have a problem with this are X, Y, and Z, or blah, 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 doop, 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 and like in real life, like, you see the game, you didn't, like, connect with these other concepts, then for me, like, you can't really have a problem with anything, because you don't connect with it, like, and maybe what I'm saying is a little bit it is based solely on, like, a particular perspective. It's based solely on a worldview that perhaps does not get that much voice, or get heard that much, but perhaps it's a worldview that has a bit of not bias with it, not even I don't want to use the word destructive. Like, I don't want to use the word destructive. It's a destructive worldview. But I will say that it's a worldview that probably is outside of a lot of people's fears. Like, I feel like it's a worldview, not a lot of people, but it's a worldview that comes from a particular experience. I talk about this kind of I talk about this sometimes. Somebody had asked me a question once, Venom, if you had superpowers, okay, if you had superpowers, would you save people? And I was like, would I save people? They're like, yeah. Would I, like, so you mean to tell me, like, if a building is on fire, like, whenever a building, I got to run into the building to get people out? He was like, yeah. I was like, do you know how many buildings I would be running in? Do you know? You don't know where I live. Do you understand? Like, that's a job. People are firefighters. They fight the fire. That's their job. They do that. Like, if I would have no life. I would, just because I have, with great power comes great responsibility. But what power, first of all, and then what is my responsibility with that power? Just because I have X power, does that then equate to X responsibility? And that's kind of like the concept of, like, with the Spider-Man game, and with what I'm talking about. The Miles Morales he's like told, not told, he experiences, and through that experience, he builds a worldview that Spider-Man is right, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just Spider-Man is right. So because of that, like his old life, kind of the concept of Miles Morales, who was best friends with Finn, and all that had to die. You know, Finn had to die. She was lost. It was all of these things, and it's just interesting because for me, as a writer, as a consumer of media, and even as if I, yes, I'm a journalist, but but even from that perspective, like I think about it and I go, so the purpose of the story, the purpose of the writer, the story that's being conveyed, the messages that are being sent to the audience, for me, that I think about it twofold. So the concept of like when individuals read things, you read things to gain experience without experiencing it. You read things to gain information without experiencing it. So like the reason for this story being told is to like highlight this story of struggle between two friends, and that struggle, it goes the ultimate left route. You know, it's this extreme circumstance and it's this extreme struggle, and that struggle leads to the death, you know. But then on the other side, I think, and this could be the that worldview. That worldview that was taught, that worldview that was handed down, that worldview that was experienced, you know. They telling a story, like, and it's highlighting kind of negative aspects of particular individuals. And it's not to say that they can't highlight negative aspects of particular individuals. It's just, for me, a Spider-Man game that is for children and is broadcast on this megaphone, this huge antenna, you know. And it's like the story that we're going to write for this game about these kids, because they're kids, these kids is going to be, Spider-Man's going to be, he's going to kill. And and I understand he didn't kill her. That's you're bastardized. You're chipping. There's no context. Like, no, she succumbed to revenge and all that. She was in the darkness. And yeah, I get it. Yep. And for me, that other side is the learning of, you know, what revenge, what the darkness can do, and like, you know, that's. But then that other side is like they're telling this story. They're telling this story of intolerance, right? If the journalists want to go down that route of individuals are sexist because of why does she look like that? Ain't nobody go down the route of they're telling the story of intolerance, and it's because they're not, right? They're not. But the perspective can be, just like the perspective can be had, you're sexist because you don't like how she looks. The perspective can be had, well, the story is like not really that appropriate, not really that, it ain't really with it. And it is with it. Like, I'm you know, but like, was, you know, and then in the DLC for Spider-Man, he a baby daddy, and he is, and he's like, that is not wrong. I think that's sweet, actually. But from the perspective of what are these characters? Who are these characters? Like, who is the demographic? What is the purpose of it? Like, what's going on for real? But the journalists ain't talking about that. They exaggerated swagger of a, you know, but the story itself, what is the story actually talking about? You know? What is it talking about? What is it talking about? You know, that's all I'm saying. That's all. You pay me. You pay. I played the game. I'm paying attention. I'm like, oh, okay. I see some little things. Okay, you know. Is it because I'm Venom? It's like, but I ain't anti Spider-Man. Like, you know. That's funny. You said, okay, let me read back. Let me go back to the comments. So y'all can call. Hey, let me turn on the phone lines too. That way I can take a call. You all can call in. Again, I'm going to give you that number out loud. If you want to call in, you can. You guys were calling in a few times, my other shows, but I wasn't taking calls. We can do it this time. 657-233-1351. Again, that number is 657-233-1351. You guys can call in. I am going to transition to the next portion of the talk, and we'll go back to the nuances with the Insomniac woke story, but it's nothing wrong with being woke. I'm just utilizing that language because that language is the language. I mean, is poignant language. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Master Soda. He said Sakame. Like, I'm assuming you're talking about my verbiage or vocabulary because I'm so articulate and with it. Succumb. I look, if that's not the proper, verbiage, Master Soda. He said Master Soda. Why you got MASTA? No, I'm playing with you. I just go with the stream. Okay. He said, is it strange? I prefer Miles Morales over Peter Parker. I mean, Miles Morales is like, I don't know. Is it strange? I don't know. Appreciate you, Ty Cook. Thank you. Newsboy. Thank you. Thank you. He said, young Carrie Fisher had a similarly broad chin and was quite attractive. She had a broad chin. I didn't know that. I never really, I guess, paid attention to her chin. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so now let's move on to the Mary Jane and Venom gameplay. Because to me, like, and instead of moving on, I want to just connect it. Because, like, my whole point is simply that not even these games, media in general, is not bad. It is sweet. It can be sweet. It can be bad. It all is duality, but it can be really cool. Technology is dope. Like, honestly, like the ability to do this and everything was going on, like technology is getting better and better and everything is becoming easier and more streamlined. And this concept that we're hitting a glass ceiling, or like people, I've seen some YouTube videos talking about this game and saying there's only so much better graphics can get, and like all of this limiting concepts, and I'm just like, yo, like, like what? It's just up until it happens, it can't happen. Up until graphics look like that game Unrecord, which is a game that has great graphics, up until the games look like that game, then that's not possible. It's a glass ceiling. It's like billions of dollars these companies have. Like, why are people excusing it? But the billions of dollars, that's why people is excusing it. Some people is getting some of that money. Getting some of that cheddar. That guap. I done said something else. Okay. And my point is that honest dialogue, more nuance takes, more like actual opinions is what's needed for us to move forward. That's what I'm saying. The whole people not liking what Mary Jane looked like. Yep. And the whole, if you don't like it, that's sexist. Yep. And with that, if you think the opinion of that is sex, then what was your opinion of the Miles Morales game? What was your opinion on the whole franchise? For real. What did you think about the... No. Look, it's no real smoke, no real beef or nothing. It's just I think you understand what I'm saying. I think that I've made it clear, and I think I've articulated. I think you can understand and feel exactly where I'm coming from. You can feel the point. They wrote the story like that. Like they wrote it, and the second one, okay. So in the first one, Miles' dad died, Peter's aunt died, and Miles's uncle went to jail, and his friend died, and in Spider-Man 2, Rio gonna die, Harry gonna die, because you had the best friend die in the last. You gotta have Harry die in this one, right? Peter will be the class Nova Dragon. Peter will be classic Venom, hence the concept art Comic-Con. And Venom with the aggressive spider emblem at the end of the trailer is Harry or Eddie. What do you think? Wait a minute, okay. So you think that Eddie Brock will actually be Venom? Now, if Eddie Brock is Venom, that's like they're lying. Why would they lie? I don't see the real reason for them to lie about that. I don't think Insomniac will lie about that. I feel like they know that it's gonna be backlash. So for them to say, "Oh yes, we rock steady," no, you ain't. hey, Rocksteady ain't even Rocksteady. So shoot, y'all done saw that Suicide Squad game? That thing is, oh man, that's old news. That ain't even relevant news. That's irrelevant. Irrelevant. It's gonna come out eventually. Who knows? I don't know, man. We gonna make a Suicide Squad game where you kill the Justice League. We made Batman. Our next game, y'all. Hey, no, it ain't Superman. No, it ain't Green Lantern. No, it ain't Flash. No. We doing Suicide Squad, and you gotta kill the Justice League. Wait for the game to come out. It'll come out, and it'll be sweet. It'll be sweet. But so okay, so Venom. Peter will be classic Venom, and then Harry or Eddie will be the other Venom. Now, okay, so the Venom gameplay. All right, the Venom gameplay. So when we see Peter, Spider-Man, how he is like fighting, he got the tentacles, right? He and then in the Ultimate Spider-Man, the game, you guys remember how he had the tentacles too? He was hitting with the tentacles. So I think that concept has to come into play. We have to have the thing with Spider-Man, with him doing all that. It looked cool. To me, it looked like a lot, but it looked cool. But if Peter is doing that, then you can't just. I mean, you can just have Venom do it, and like, it needs, the gameplay has to be just entirely different though. It has to be entirely different. It has to be like a pretty, in my opinion, it doesn't have to. They're the developers. They do whatever they want, you know. But it would behoove. What's the word? Behoove. Look, I'm on the internet. Okay. I know. Look. I'm credible. I have the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So, look, this is what you need to do. This is how Venom needs to be. Listen to me. Y'all got the money and all that, but I got the opinion. I got the opinion, you know? So, okay. All right. Look, the gameplay, you don't need to make him like the Hulk, but the game, it needs to be, in my opinion, like entirely different from Spider-Man. Like, it needs to be, he needs to be throwing vehicles, and he needs to be fighting people, the police. It needs to be probably a wanted system. Honestly, if you're gonna have him eating people and that's how he sustains his health, that's fine. But I don't know if that's necessary. I do think though, the concept of him being a monster and then there being a gameplay element of him being a monster, I think is dope. Because the game is like more than 2 hours, you can really play upon that, and like literally play upon, but like showcase that. I remember in the animated series, there was this idea of like Spider-Man is attacking people. You know, that's even in like the comics and all that. Like, but it's really Venom. And the animated show is like J. Jonah Jameson is trying to get them to film Venom, but he thinks it's Spider-Man because it's the black suit. You could really play upon that concept of the monster, you know, and be the monster, like even as because honestly, like now, what I would do and what Insomniac probably will do, but maybe not. I and Insomniac are two different individuals. There's an I in Insomniac, but that I ain't me. That was pretty clever, wasn't it? Hey, I'm making myself laugh. Anyway, but you have where the player doesn't know who Venom is. Who like, imagine the concept of like the game. It goes and it plays until like there's this monster in New York. There's this beast in New York, but that beast is the player. But the player doesn't know who is actually within Venom, whether or not it's Harry or Norman. And what if they really play upon that, like in the Spectacular Spider-Man show? Who is, like how they did it with the Goblin, but they do it with Venom. Who is this monster? And honestly, if they go that route, it's more than likely not Harry. It's more than likely not. Like, if they do go that route, because of the trailer, how the trailer was, like, it's probably not Harry. Would it be Norman? Like, I feel like it's the story. There's so many opinions online about the story, and so many people have said their opinions, and there's so honestly many obvious ways to take the story that I don't even think doing Norman as Venom is right. I don't even think having the symbiote sucks Norman's life away, and then he has to get the Oz serum, and like I feel like that's I just said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they do that, then okay, like it'd be cool to see it happen. It'd be cool to play it out, but dude, that's kind of, I guess, assumed. They have to do something different. So if they were to have the gameplay really play into that mysterious, I was about to say mystery, but the mysterious element of who is Venom, and then they reveal it through the gameplay, through the story, probably through a fight or something reveal it. Like, that would be dope. That would be amazing. I'm imagining that too, like the concept of, and with the comment you said, what if it was Eddie Brock? Like, so if Mary Jane's working at the Daily Bugle and J. Jonah Jameson is back at the Daily Bugle, to me, that Eddie Brock's, like, he's present. Like, there's no reason for him not to be present. He's going to be present. Perhaps they'll play with the audience's perspective, thinking that it is Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock is Venom. Maybe they'll put the seeds in for a spinoff game or for the third one, you know. But I do see I think that would be really cool, the concept of having Venom secret identity not be known while you're playing, and it's revealed as the game goes on. I mean, they could just, you see Harry put that suit on and rah, you know. It may be, you know, maybe, I don't know. Venom looks large. I like that. That makes me think about that's the only reason why Norman, but it doesn't necessarily matter the size of the host. It's more so Venom feeding off of their, not even feeding. Venom is a symbiote, so he just really enhances. They talk about Venom being like the darkness and all that, but he like enhances those dark qualities within. In the original comics, actually, Peter got rid of the suit because he felt as if the suit was exhausting him. He didn't feel like it was changing. Well, it wasn't changing his personality in the original comics. It was literally possessing him. It was like he would be web swinging at night and in his sleep and stuff. It possessed him. It was a demon. And he got rid of it, which is interesting. From the perspective of the game, if it's Norman, I mean, you know, the first game, with what I just said, the first game, he's fighting the demons. Spider-Man is fighting the demons. Literally, that's what the name of the enemies are called. And then the virus that is put on the whole city is called Devil's Breath. So, you know, and now we got a Venom. You know, but they're gonna probably they're gonna do anti-Venom with it, because Venom is gonna probably cure Harry and all that, and Venom not gonna be evil, and he's gonna do all this, you know, because Venom's misunderstood. He's not evil. He's whatever concept you want to go with, all those stories, whatever the heck. I just like the character. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that other stuff. But the gameplay needs to really be different from Spider-Man. Like, I visualize destructible environments, but, you know, is that too much? Maybe. I visualize being able to throw a car into Times Square's screens, like when you fought Electro in Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, I want that. I want to be able to do that, though, in my free time. Throw it at that screen, blow that screen up. Come on. That's what come on. Today, the Insomniac put up a tweet talking about Venom got the best suit. You know? Yes. So he make him the best playable character, too. Not the best. He's playing as Spider-Man needs to be good, but playing as Venom should be like exhilarating. It should be sweet. It should be different. It should be like, oh my God, whoa, I'm Venom. I'm a tank. I'm whatever. And perhaps the missions, it can be you have your missions where you're racing through the city or whatever. You have your mission where you're hunting people. You got to eat. You have your mission where you're even probably hunting Spider-Man. You have your mission where there's so many different things they could do. But the gameplay it can't just be. And if they're talking about he got a suit, you know, he got the best suits, then he should be playable in the free roam, which means there should be in that free roam. That should be exactly what I'm talking about with that wanted system, with that concept of the beast, you know, and even introduce, if I'm acting a fool as Venom throughout the city, shoot, Spider-Man come through, and now I could play as Venom or play as Spider-Man and tap. You know what I'm saying? Imagine being able to like have your own superhero fight, you know, in the city whenever you want. And like, and I know I'm dreaming. I'm going way off, you know. I'm going shoom, you know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying though that's what they should do. Millions of dollars. We didn't already played Ultimate Spider. We didn't played Venom. What is the point? That's what I was saying earlier with the Miles Morales story, with the real what is the point? What's the point? Is it an uplifting story? Okay. I got the information, like not succumbing to revenge and all that, you know, but like you wrote it. So you can write any conclusion, any conversation, any relationship, you know, we're woke. We're Insomniac, so we want diversity and inclusion, and we want to have a uplifting story, and we want to have all the... What's the point? But going back to, if we going to have Venom as the playable character, what's the point? We already did that. You got to make it different. You should, if I'm causing havoc in the city, okay, Spider-Man is in the city. Spider-Man should come. That's it. And I should be able to choose as Spider-Man to go, or Spider-Man as the AI should come, and I'm Venom, and I do the boop. You know? Imagine you beat the game, and you can still have those fights take place. Shoot. I mean, even if Peter is dead, Miles Morales, I doubt they'll do that. I really doubt in Spider-Man 2 they're going to kill one of the Spider-Man. I don't think so. And if they do that, he coming back. It's going to be like Craven. I don't think they'll do that though. But if they do, shoot, it's still at the end. Venom should be playable in the open world, and he should be able to destruct, you know, and then have it where Spider-Man comes. Shoot, they said, I read somewhere, and I even talked about it in one of my live streams. They said that they referred to Craven as a Marvel character in the game. They didn't refer to him as like a Spider-Man villain. They referred to him as a Marvel character. And yes, he is a Marvel character. But with him being a Marvel character, he is a Spider-Man character. He got a movie coming out. So I guess that's the Marvel. Yeah. With them saying that though, my mind immediately was like, well, they got Wolverine coming out. Ultimate Spider-Man had Venom fighting Wolverine. Wolverine's in this. The Ultimate Spider-Man game, you fought Wolverine in a bar. In the Wolverine trailer, he in a bar. Because why say Marvel characters? Why not just... This is Marvel's Spider-Man, though. That's why. That's Marvel's Wolverine. That's why. This is within Marvel Spider-Man, the New York, they have the Avengers, they have all that. So, like, that, you know, I would expect Wolverine to show up in this game. Like, why wouldn't he? Look, other YouTubers that are watching, if you want to take what I just said, look it up, and then make your video, go ahead. It's fine. But what I'm just saying is there should be Wolverine in there. Why not? Why not? What's the point? This is Spider-Man 72. Like, this is Spider-Man 728. How many Spider-Man games we didn't have? How many, you know, that's why, you know, technology is evolving. You know, there's infinite possibilities. There's so many different things we can do. So the idea for me, you know, saying these glasses, like for me, the reason why I'm on YouTube, the reason why, you know, I made the decision that I made is because we actually can tell stories that are meaningful. We can tell stories that do connect with the audience. And by we, I mean us as people. Not saying the people ain't making these products and media, but because they are real, genuine people that are hardworking and very talented. Extremely I can't take away the talent. I cannot talk down on any of these people because these people are beyond talented. It's amazing. It's beautiful, immaculate work and pieces of art. But with that, we can make our art too, you know? You know, if there's a glass ceiling that they reached. Okay, I get it. Graphics can't be any better for them. Okay, the millions of dollars. All right, millions of dollars. Those stories. Okay, millions of dollars. That's what you gonna do. All right. We just have to do it ourselves. Mary Jane, you don't like how she look? You gotta do it yourself. You gotta wait when it come out on PC and do it yourself. And that's where we're going, because do it yourself. Because Venom gameplay should be sweet. Come on, man. Spider-Man games in 2023 should be this Spider-Man. The graphics is Spider-Man. Like, you know. And with that, we don't need to have no boring gameplay moments in a Spider-Man game either. We don't need to be Mary Jane sneaking around. Before, when they first announced, not when they first announced the game, but before it came out, I made a video. And in this video, I was talking about, I made up my own story for Spider-Man, the first game. And in the video, I was talking about a gameplay segment in which Mary Jane would be driving and following the action of Spider-Man, like a car chase. But the car chase isn't taking place from the perspective of Spider-Man web swinging. It's taking place from the perspective of Mary Jane driving. And the game becomes like Grand Theft Auto, or like a driving game, driving through New York, dodging the obstacles and all that. And for me, that's where my mind went to with the thought process of them introducing Mary Jane as a playable character in the game. I didn't think every Mary Jane playable segment was going to be sneaking around. That's not, I don't want to play. That's all I got to say about that. So in terms of the sequel, I'm not, my expectation is for them to really have a variety of different gameplay segments in which you are Mary Jane. If you're playing as Mary Jane, okay. I don't think you should have that segment of Mary Jane running away from Peter, like in the trailer. I think that's a little misleading. At least misleading in terms of game. Maybe we do play as that. Maybe we do play that segment. For me, it's just funny because what is the ending screen? And I've already said this in the live stream before, but what is the ending? If you fail that mission, what Peter gonna do? I'm gonna have to fail it just to see. But what I'm saying is, the gameplay with Mary Jane, it need to be different. It don't need to be hiding. It don't need to be her fighting. But it can be her in situations, and we know she's a strong-willed, independent woman, and all of that. So, with her being strong-willed and independent, that should showcase in the gameplay. She should have her strong-willed, independent gameplay moments. She should be not just hiding, not just sneaking around. She's a journalist at the Daily Bugle, so they're going to more than likely play into that. I guess photo missions. She's going to take photos. I mean, what if she's, when you're having a fight with a particular boss and she's present, it switches over to her and you take pictures. I don't really want any pictures, I mean, that's cool, but no, I feel like it's more interesting putting the player as Mary Jane in different scenarios that are how would Mary Jane get out of it, and we have to get out of it outside of just hiding and fighting, and various scenarios. So, okay, one scenario, her taking pictures, okay, yeah. Another scenario is her following in a chase with Spider-Man and all that stuff happening, and you have to drive and dodge oncoming traffic and vehicles and all that stuff, and switch probably in between her and Miles and Spider-Man, Peter and all that, and switch back and all that, yeah, that's sweet. Another gameplay element, it could be her So I liked in the Spider-Man game when she had the little taser and you was you know. It could be a moment where she's shooting people up. Honestly, they should make Craven playable too. They should have it where you're Craven and make it, well, even though he doesn't really have a gun. I was really going down the element of having a third person shooter point in the game because that's what I think isn't needed or missing from the game. But I think that's what I'm like getting to with the concept of Mary Jane and of these different gameplay elements, like the idea of introducing various gameplay genres to the game, but then it becomes like implementing that correctly and having it be smooth and all that stuff. And that's a lot of work, and I understand that entirely. I'm just spitballing ideas here because, it's my wish list. I wish for the gameplay segments to be fun. I don't want it to be boring, if I'm being honest, games been boring. I ain't even played video games that much lately because ain't nothing to play. So Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 any day. You gotta hit your little exaggerated swagger. It's because I'm black, but I ain't a teen, so anyway, they're like, what was that? I was about to say something, but I decided to redact it and omit it in my mind. I erased it and deleted it. All of those words that deal with backspacing and getting rid of. That's what took place in my mind with the phrase or sentence that I was going to form. Having a third-person shooter element, like I actually imagine a third-person shooting element in the game, and you have to shoot either Venom or Spider-Man. Like, and they're like, and they're like jumping away and swinging away or something. And you gotta like, imagine like so what I was talking about with the Beast concept, the concept of Venom, having Venom missions and him stalking folks at night and eating them and all that. And imagine it's a mission where you play as a cop or somebody and you like go into the, wherever Venom has been spotted or sighted or whatever, and it's third-person shooter, and it's like a horror game kind of that way, and it's Venom, so like, and you fighting him or whatever, but you end up still dying. That would be sweet. I think that would be cooler than that happening with Peter and Mary Jane, But I guess that goes with what I was talking about earlier. If with what I said earlier, Peter ain't never killed Felicia Hardy. He ain't never killed Mary Jane. He ain't never killed Silk. He ain't never killed all of the, There it is. That's inclusive. That make the whole point of the video. See, you didn't play Spider-Man 2 because you don't know what Peter gonna do. That's funny. That's funny. I don't think he gonna do that though. I don't think. Why would Peter? He ain't gonna kill Mary Jane, and I don't think that would take place in the like as a failure screen. I don't think. She's hiding and he just foul on her, and it just go black, and then you gotta restart. I was sitting there like, oh. Y'all ever did that in the games? You failed just to see what happened in the Spider-Man 3 game when you got to press the quick time events, Spider-Man web swing and stuff, and like instead of you don't press it, he just fall flat on the ground, the whole building on fire, the lady strapped to the bomb. Hey, you would fall to the ground, the lady look, she'd be like, I'm about to die. And then it just end. It blow up, and then it'd be like restart. They something else. I like that though. They something else. They did it. They put it in there. That was sweet. Because they didn't have to do that. It could just end. You fail. But they went through the whole process. You know what I'm saying? They went through the whole process.
Okay. He said, I think another huge death will happen in Spider-Man 2, and I think it will be Miles' mom or MJ setting way for Gwen to come in. Duh. Now, if they kill Mary Jane to bring in Gwen, that's backwards. Duh. Duh. That's backwards. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? I don't think that's necessary. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to kill Mary Jane to bring in Gwen. Just that's like just doing something different just to do it. They don't have to do that. They can instead like have it where they don't do that. No, I'm playing. That's an interesting idea. That's something that's not expected. I don't know. I don't know if I would like that. I don't know if I would like that. I was about to say, I guess, introduce Gwen, but they don't even have to introduce Gwen. Oh snap! We just lost the camera. it didn't just froze, y'all. They didn't just froze on. Hold on, wait. I don't know why I did that. We having technical difficulties, but anyway, I can keep talking while it's fixed. So for me, the whole notion of Gwen Stacy is that, you know, she died, and like the everything that's being shifted and changed, like with the multiverse and stuff, that's cool, and maybe that, I guess that would be the point of them doing, like, bringing forward Gwen and killing Mary Jane. I guess that would be the point, them doing something different. But I just don't think, I don't know if that's necessary. I feel like you can if you're gonna kill Mary Jane, I feel like that's just killing her to kill her, kinda. Is that necessary? Do they have to do that? I mean, they don't have to do anything, right? But instead, have Mary Jane be there. And I guess you could even introduce Gwen. You could, but I don't know if that's the most thing. It's still frozen. Why they froze my stuff? It's still frozen. I don't know. I guess they all of those. I wouldn't be the biggest fan of Gwen coming in after they killed Mary Jane. I think you stick with the source material in that regard. If you're gonna kill her, if you're gonna kill somebody, kill Gwen, and if you're gonna like introduce Gwen, like do it with Mary Jane present. Yeah. I don't know. Y'all would like that. You said you would like that. Miles's mom dying, that's pretty much what I'm anticipating. I think a lot of people are expecting that. You had his dad die in the first one, and it's that concept of him fighting with Martin Lee that's in the trailer. You don't know what you took from me. That's that same concept. So perhaps they don't do that. Perhaps they can completely just subvert expectations, or, you know, and do something else entirely. But I don't really know if that's what they'll do. I don't know if that's I don't know. I feel like they want to do the emotion thing. They want to really play on the emotion, and they're gonna have it where like his mom is dead, and it's like he has to deal with the darkness. You know, I feel like they're gonna do something. They'll do something like that at least, right? Y'all don't. I don't know. That's what I feel like they would do. I feel like they would be like, oh, now Miles has to deal with the darkness. Now Miles has to contend with it. How will he handle it? You know. You know. I don't know. He said, I genuinely think they're pulling a Rocksteady with Harry Eddie situation. To be honest, they push Harry so much, being Venom to a point where it's too much. Is that necessary? Do they need to lie? I don't know. Do they need to lie? Could they instead just do something else, like not have it be Eddie, and then introduce Eddie later on? Like, because I mean, and that's not necessary either. They got Harry. Do Ultimate Spider-Man the show. Go ahead, do it. Go ahead. But maybe they are fooling folks. I don't know. It said, imagine when they do Carnage in a Venom spinoff game or in a future Spider-Man sequel. You think they'll do Carnage? Will they get that far? Why? Now I'm saying that, like, what does that mean? What I just said. What does that mean? Will they get that far? I'm saying, like, are they going to... They're just going to reboot? Reboot it. Maybe they will continue it. It'll be like Spider-Man 7. We already at Spider-Man, whatever Spider-Man game this is. So maybe they will get there and they'll do Carnage, all the symbiotes. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel that from this. I don't feel that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel that, though. I feel like the third one's going to be the last one. And then they're going to do something else. It's going to be like, but it's Spider-Man. They can't do something else. Can they? Venom? Oh, man. People talking about they're going to do a Venom game. Do you want a Venom game? I don't know if I want that. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to have a Venom game, you got to have, I mean, they would have other characters, I'm assuming, but there's got to be some stuff in it. That's why the Venom gameplay, it has to be, it's got to be sweet. It's got to have some missions. It's got to have a lot of different stuff in it, not just Venom, hitting people with the tentacles. It's got to be like at least destruction in the environment. There's how he moves in the environment. The environment reacts differently to him. When he walks down the street, people scream and he can eat them. When Spider walks down the street, they're like, "Hey, Spidey!" It's like that difference. There has to be that difference. What was that? It just did the Siri thing or something. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm coming from with that. It has to be that specific difference. It can't be like a. I mean, and I doubt they would do just a skin, like, of course, but it can't, and I don't want it to just be like when he lands on the ground either, like, boom, like, cars should react, like, people should react. There should be a difference in the world when you play as Venom, and there should be a difference in the world when you play as Mary Jane, and a difference in the world when you play as Spider-Man. It's like, there should be. I'm going to read the comments. And I'm about to get on out of here, y'all. I said I was going to take a call. I do this every time. I didn't take a call. It's okay. I'm going to read y'all comments. They set up the Venom, Goblin, and Superior Spider-Man storylines with the PS4 game. Do you think they have too much on their plate? Too much on their plate. No. They set up the Superior storyline to you. I guess because he can't move, so then he's gonna use. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that perspective. Now, if they do Superior Spider-Man with Dr. Octavius possessing him, that's like the same concept of Venom. I don't know. I don't know if they would do that. Too much on their plate. I don't know if it's too much on their plate either. I feel like that's like they can manage it. They got millions of dollars. They got writers. They got them people is super talented over there. They can do all that. They can manage all that. They just have to do it. They have to plan it out, strategize, and do it. Structure it and do it. They just got to do it. Will they do it? Probably not. I don't think they have the Superior Spider-Man thing going on, but maybe they do. It's this. It's a similar story with him not being able to move and all that. Maybe they do. I don't know though. I don't like that. It's too much. Not even too much in the sense of like too much. I mean like, what's the Peter's acting different in this one? Like with Dr. Octavius, he gonna be acting different again? I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I don't think they're doing the superior Spider-Man, but Venom and Goblin, yeah, they have to do Venom and Goblin. I mean, the superior Spider-Man thing, that's like in my mind now I'm starting to think, okay, so what, in the third game, like they're gonna do Otto Octavius is gonna be Peter, and he's gonna go against Norman. It's gonna be like they don't like each other because of Otto Octavius, and that reminded me of the movie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. Superior Spider-Man. Would they do that? I'm not sure if they would. I'm not sure if they would. But if they do, I guess that would really pattern out 3, because 3 they can just do Goblin, but there's something else I guess that would need to be there for 3. But I mean, what happens in 2? We got to see what happens in 2, because who knows? And then you said, I think Goblin will be revealed in this game, but will be safe for the third game. Yeah. Yep, I agree. I think Goblin is going to be in the third game. I was hoping we would get a little bit of Goblin in this one, though. Imagine Venom and Goblin in the same game. Yo, that's Ultimate Spider-Man with it for real, but different. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I would like it. Hey, I appreciate all y'all for watching. I really do appreciate everybody for tuning on in, for commenting. I still ain't take no call. But look, next time I'm gonna take a call. I'm gonna take a call next time. But I really appreciate y'all for watching. You said, do you like the Superior Spider-Man? That is one of your favorite stories. I'm not that familiar with. Oh, that's not true. I actually remember when they announced that there was going to be a new Spider-Man, and they were saying it wasn't Peter Parker. And then they showed the picture, and it was a drawing of a man. So it didn't, like, we ain't really know who it was anyway, because it was a drawing of a man. But they said it wasn't Peter Parker, so it's not Peter Parker. But it was Peter Parker. It was Otto Octavius as Peter Parker. And my reaction at the time was, okay. 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 But the story was actually pretty interesting. I know little bits and pieces of the story. People, well, not people have told me. I've looked up some things. I've seen some things. Peter Parker became rich. He did his company and all that. And that was sweet. I think it was sweet. I don't really have that big of an opinion on it. Otto Octavius was losing function, so he decided to take the youngin's body. Lord, get out. Lord, you're going to take the youngin' body? How you going to do that? But he lost. You can't do that. That's illegal. That's illegal. What kind of work? You can't take nobody's body. Get out of here. You ain't that smart. Clearly come up with that conclusion. He said, my body is dying. I'm taking his. No. Come on, man. He said they hinted at Superior Spider-Man with the mechanical legs. But the mechanical legs, that's Iron Spider in my mind. I never think about no Superior Spider-Man with mechanical legs. The Iron Spider had the mechanical legs first, to me. Like, I distinctively remember seeing those pictures when I was a child. The yellow and red Spider-Man suit, and with those spider legs, mechanical spider legs, you know. I remember that. It's not winter. This is just I just grabbed a mug with a snowman on it. It's tea. It's tea, you know. I would show you the brand. You already saw it. If you didn't see it, I'm not going to show you anyway because they ain't give me no. No, they ain't give me no money, so they don't get no product placement. I mean, Spider-Man ain't give me no money either. Well, I just like Spider-Man. Y'all didn't give me money. I appreciate y'all. Y'all viewership. I really appreciate y'all. You said Mechanical Legs came before Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, I really appreciate all y'all for tuning in with me on this Friday. I hope y'all had an excellent week. I hope you had an excellent day. I hope you understood what I was saying earlier. Somebody said that I was all over the place or something. The chat replay is there so you can see the chat. And I hope you guys followed what I was saying. I'm going to have like a edited video that's going to have all of those points like straight down. I just really want to talk about it because it ain't nobody. It ain't nobody talking about things. It's just certain things that are being talked about. I be feeling like, why? And I feel they probably say the same. They, who is they? But and the same thing can probably be said about the things that I'm saying. But I just be feeling like the perspective is so choreographed, so just manufactured and tailored, just not real, you know. It just be yeah, and you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Journalists, they know what they know and they do what they do. And I just want to come on here and speak about that. Speak about what I noticed and if the journalists are articulate and analyze and are sensitive and we're all about inclusiveness and diversification and all of it, then hello, you ain't nothing to say about that, because it's all even playing field. Like, it ain't like we can talk about this, but we can't talk about that. It's like we all people, and we all are coming to a new agreement or coming to a conclusion of what's right and what's wrong and all of it, and we all love each other, and it's all inclusive, and it's all diversive, and it's all not diverse, but it's all, you know, positive. So if we're having these nuanced takes or these nuanced discussions, let's actually be nuanced. Let's like really be with it. You can't just call out an audience when like the actual, and it's not about calling anybody out. Like, that's not what it's about. It's not about Insomniac is this, these journalists are that, this. It's more so for me just about a true conversation and various perspectives, hearing from various perspectives. Like, it's nothing wrong with it's no race, it's nothing wrong with the white dude saying that the women need to have their rights and the women equality, and it's nothing wrong with the white dude or the black dude defending that, none of that. But when it comes to like defending things and all of that, like, okay, like, let's really talk about it. Like, okay, let's really talk about it then. Okay, if we really on the inclusive wave, on the positive and the uplifting, like, okay, why is the story framed in this way? Why are the characters doing X, Y, and Z? And then on this large, grand scale for the world to see. And we understand who these characters are and all of these things. Diversity and inclusion. Black on black crime. Oh, black families. All of these things. Statistics. Oh. So then let's be about it. Why is we telling stories that's perpetuating stereotypes and negative concepts and all of these other things? Let's be about it then. Come on.
Come on. Hey, I feel like in the Nutty Professor is one of my favorite bloopers. Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. He was playing as he's playing as the grandma, and he was like, "What you gonna do, Cletus? Come on, Cletus, come on, Cletus." And he took off his wig. He was like, "Come on, Cletus, come on." See, that's a cultural thing. I'm talking about Eddie. No, you get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying. Like, for real, if we really, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, and ooh, black on black, ooh, if we really doing that, then let's really do it. They woke, they insomniac. What's the excuse? If I'm lying, I'm crying. And that's it, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you had a great week. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one, y'all. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, for everybody for rocking with me. We're going to have that. I'm going to do the video version of this. I'm not editing this live stream. It's going to be like a different video that's going to be made talking about this and some other things in it. And yeah. But I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, everybody for rocking with your boy Venom on this Friday. And we gonna just pull on out of here, y'all. I appreciate you all. Make sure you stay tuned. You know, I could say the YouTuber thing, but look, if you want to like it, you gonna like it. If you don't want to like it, don't like it. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, then I appreciate you anyway. As always, I thank you for tuning in. I'm your boy Venom 2 Million saying have a good one. Peace. Have a good one. Peace, y'all. Have a good one, y'all.